We've seen how our thoughts may not be our most reliable guides when trying to find the path to our hearts. This is where our bodies turn out to be such an effective partner in mindfulness practice. Unlike our minds, which can be careening around in time and space, kind of like a kite flying in like a really gusty wind, our physical bodies can only exist in the here and now, in the present moment. Just unfortunately, we're just not aware of it, right? I talk about this a lot on the show, how we're just not aware of how our physical body is feeling at the moment because we're so kind of in our head and thinking so much. We're just cut off. So what happens is the body communication is always two-way, and we're not listening, so it stops talking as much, and it stops talking, so we're not listening. It's kind of like a catch-22. So start listening. And that might just start with giving yourself a sticky note to remember to ask, how am I feeling? How am I physically feeling right now? In today's busy world, how can we find the inspiration, knowledge, and energy to live a healthy and empowered life? If we balance and harmonize our mind, exercise our body, live according to the laws of nature, and connect to spirit, can we find a way to heal, become our authentic self, and live our purpose with love? I am your hostess, Amy Fournier, and welcome back to Awakening Aphrodite. Welcome back to Awakening Aphrodite with Amy Fournier. This show is about helping you to be more healthy and fit in mind, body, and spirit, as well as tap into your intuition, your true source of power, and awaken your authentic self. Today is a Fast Friday episode. These are little mini bonus episodes that we do every other Friday as just a quick way to drop into your body and mind and spirit in your life and connect with you again to hopefully inspire you, encourage you, uplift you, and maybe even teach you something new. The topics will be different. I like to just share things that I come across in my journey that have affected me in some way. And today's Fast Friday, we're going to talk about just a reading from a section of a book that I love that one of my podcast guests and I talked about, the book called The Lost Art of Heart Navigation. It's basically a modern shaman's field manual, and it's by Jeff Nixa, who I'd love to have on my show. But one of the guests that I had, Liz Kelly, her and I had discussed this amazing book that really affected her work and is just beautiful. Boy, this guy just seems like just the real deal, a wonderful healer and shaman. And the passage I'm going to share with you is called Find Your Body and You Find the Present. So 3 simple ways to return to your body. Awakening Aphrodite is all about helping you connect to that body of yours, to get out of that over-masculinized, over-intellectual, over-logical, overthinking, over-analyzing, overdoing everything part of yourself, and tap more into the feeling, sensate, relaxing, easing, joyful, pleasure-filled sense of your physical body, the feminine in you. So, 3 simple ways to return to your body. We've seen how our thoughts may not be our most reliable guides when trying to find the path to our hearts. This is where our bodies turn out to be such an effective partner in mindfulness practice. You know, unlike our minds, which can be careening around in time and space, kind of like a kite flying in like a really gusty wind, our physical bodies can only exist in the here and now, in the present moment. Just unfortunately, we're just not aware of it, right? I talk about this a lot on the show, how we're just not aware of how our physical body is feeling at the moment because we're so kind of in our head and thinking so much. We're just cut off. So what happens is the body communication is always two-way, and we're not listening, so it stops talking as much, and it stops talking, so we're not listening. It's kind of like a catch-22. So start listening. And that might just start with giving yourself a sticky note to remember to ask, how am I feeling? How am I physically feeling right now? Just a good place to start. So anchoring our attention in the body is a reliable and a stabilizing point for reference for the mind, like connecting a kite string to a stake pounded into the ground. So it just kind of roots you down a little bit. Okay, so 3 simple ways to return to your body. These are basically 3 shamanic ways to step into the power of the present moment using your body's natural connection to nature and the sensory world. Number 1, get outside. I'm always saying this on the show, aren't I? It's because it works. It's huge. It's so simple. It's free. But God knows in our modern culture, we all live too much between walls and windows and artificial lights. We're not designed to do that. We need to get outside, to breathe fresh air, to feel the sun, to connect with nature. Even if you're just looking at a tree, even if you can't take off your shoes, it's too cold or not appropriate to be barefoot where you are. Just get outside anyway, or even just being near a window. We know that even in hospital research, that patients heal faster, they need less pain medication, they get out of the hospital sooner when their rooms have windows. It's crazy. So nature is the great healer. That's why they call her Mother Nature. So tip number 1 is to get outside. Simply walk outside. Open your senses. Draw your attention to some natural thing and hold it there. Maybe a tree, a bird song, a breeze, a cloud, an aroma, a weed growing up from the sidewalk. It doesn't matter. It's all nature. Say hello to the other thing. This breaks the trance of your self-focused thoughts and opens your heart and your curiosity and connectedness to nature and the world. The first thing that Jeff Nixa does every morning is he gets out of his house and he gets into his backyard and he basically looks around. He finds that he's always surprised at the immediate calming effect and the dynamic movement of life that's all around. Even in the dead of winter, fresh tracks of snow reveal the busy activities of rabbits, cats, raccoons, squirrels, birds, mice moving around the yard. So it's something that we can all incorporate. I know I'm outside every day and I have dogs, so I have to. But frankly, it's a good excuse to get me the heck outside. Tip number 2, getting more in your body, is to drum or rattle. Wow, this goes back to our primitive DNA that's in your cells, my friends. Even if you've never picked up a drum or a rattle, or you're afraid of it, or God knows what you think of it, or say you have no rhythm, it doesn't matter. You have a rhythm because you have a heart, and your heartbeat has a rhythm. Nature is rhythm. Nature, the world started with a sound. The sound was the first thing that happened. The word was the first thing, and that's a sound. So we all inherently have a rhythm. And we know rattling and drumming are just ancient practices that all cultures have used to connect with the primal sense of the divine that's in all of our beings. So the mind is attracted to intense energy. We know that. A shout, a flash of light, a dog bark, or a poignant aroma like a skunk will instantly snap your attention out of the trance of your worries and into the present. Shamans discovered long ago that steady drumming or rattling snags the thinking mind and holds it in a kind of suspended state so the heart can envision without intellectual interference. It's so true. It's like you got that low drone of the drum in the background, and it just puts you in a trance. It's almost like the equivalent of being in your mother's arms as a baby and being in a rocking chair. The rhythm of the back and forth puts you in a trance, and that's what a low drum does. That's what even like one of my favorite all-time products in the world, which I talk about a lot on the show, the core harmonizer, which is sound therapies, which are resonated with the frequency of our heart rhythm. You know, every organ has its own frequency, and everything in the world has its own frequency, both light and sound. And the core harmonizer is actually syncopated to the frequencies of the heart. So I find it extremely soothing and calming, as do my dogs and plants and everything else. You can find out more about that, by the way, on my e-store on my website, amyfournier.com. And you can even get yours at discount if you want to check it out. I'll tell you, it's one of the best things I ever bought, and it's worth every penny. I use it every single day, like 24/7. But anyway, that's very similar to the drum is what I'm getting at, because it's that low grade frequency in the background that's super calming. The shaman's drum is her gateway or portal to the spirit world. And we can try it. Just drum or rattle for a period of time, experimenting with different rates or beats per minute, and see which feels most natural and sustainable for you. What I do with my groups and workshops and women's circles or whatever it is I'm doing, sometimes we start the drum. I say, just drum how you're feeling at the moment. And people are usually drumming really rapidly because everyone's kind of wound up or in their heads, right? But sure enough, after a few moments, two things happen. Not only do they usually slow down their drumming, their body starts to calm and get in a flow and just a rhythm, but we also syncopate. We also get in resonance with each other, because that's always happening all the time anyway. But it's such a powerful exercise because you can physically see it, that we all kind of start drumming in sync, because otherwise it feels uncomfortable to have like all these random notes and sounds and rhythms and speeds, slow, fast, up, down, whatever, off. I mean, think about maybe 2-year-old kids or something playing with instruments, and it's just basically noise, right? Because it's all convoluted and all over the place. But then think about like a beautiful harmony and an orchestra that's trained to play in rhythm together, and how beautiful and soothing it can be. So we're naturally designed to like pattern and rhythm as a way of soothing and entraining our mind, body, and spirits to get on a frequency of calm. Very, very powerful. So the drum is a powerful, powerful tool for that. And you can use it to either increase your energy or bring it down, like I said. And increasing your energy, I mean, you could just think of like a movie, and how some movies, like the music speeds up, it's like it gets you, the viewer, the watcher, to be like, what's going to happen? Or it might slow down, So we use the rhythm to bring our energy up, or we can use the rhythm just as intentionally to calm the energy down, You can just feel it change, right? That frequency. So we feel the percussion of the drum, and we can let it resonate at a very deep level to our core. And we know that the drum in the Native American cultures is known to be the heartbeat of the earth. It resonates with our own heartbeat. We can notice how we feel at some point, and how the thinking mind while drumming just slips into a neutral stance. And then suddenly you're just there with the sound and the percussion. And if you're really lucky, you then become the drum. There's no difference between you and the drum. And that's super cool when that happens. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, then you need to join me at the next time I do one of these workshops. It's beautiful. All right. And their last tip to get in your body is to smudge. Smudging is a short, purifying ritual using the smoke from smoldering dry herbs such as sage or cedar. And I also know a lot of people use Palo Santo, by the way. I love sage because I just love the smell of sage. I sage myself. I sage my house. I sage my dogs. I'll do it when I feel funky or just something like I got this kind of stank on me emotionally. I just feel like I need to purify. It's kind of like taking a esoteric bath, a smudge. Super powerful. There's a reason why cultures have used it for centuries. Smudging is often done at the beginning of longer ceremonies to welcome and cleanse participants. I know that it's just absolutely mandatory. If ever I've done a plant medicine ceremony or any kind of healing ceremony, we have to smudge ourselves first. Not only does it purify you, but it helps protect you from any dark entities that might come into your space. And it doesn't really matter what herb or incense you prefer. The earthy aromas hook the mind and draw attention back to the present. I swear, it's something primal happens. We know that the olfactory nerve in your nasal passages goes directly to the brain and is one of the most powerful nerves in the whole body. That smell connection that we have, and the whole smell of baking cookies reminds you of grandma, and you get all warm and fuzzy inside. Our smells are very, very attached. Actually, that olfactory nerve actually goes also into the limbic system of the brain, that area of the brain, which is your emotional center. So we have strong emotional connections to our sense of smell. So some people like to smudge themselves when they've been at their keyboard and computer all day, or like before they want to write something important, or maybe before they have to make a hard phone call or ask for a raise, or maybe have a hard discussion with a loved one, or clear their thoughts. Like I said, I use it a lot just to kind of, when I just feel like I'm in a funk, I just need, it's like taking an emotional bath is the best way I can describe it for me. But the main thing to remember is just to be present, be intentional when you do it. Don't worry really about the how you're doing it, because intention is half the battle in anything in life, my friends. Take that to the bank, across the board. It's really about your heart intention. I really feel like when you have the good intentions, Great Spirit will take you the rest of the way. So just I want to be cleansed. I want to be fresh. I want to be clear. I want to be a clear vessel. I want to have an open, pure heart that's loving and unconditionally accepting of everyone, including myself. Just having an intention like that and then smudging away, how can you go wrong, right? So it doesn't have to be fancy, but those things work. So get outside, drum, rattle, or play an instrument. And if you have to, tap some rocks together. You don't physically need a drum. It's the drumming sound that goes to our primal nature, or smudge. And if you're really feeling crazy, do all three in the same day and then let me know what happens. So I hope that helps you today. Today's Fast Friday, and I already can't wait to be with you again. And hey, have you subscribed yet? I hope you do, because I love being here with you, and it's your way of supporting me, and I appreciate that. Also, share the show, and if you really feel inspired, I would love you to death to leave me a review. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Would you like to support my mission to help empower people all over the world to be all of who they truly are? If so, please subscribe to the show, leave a review on iTunes, and share it with a friend. And if you're looking to take immediate action to align your energy and optimize your health, visit amyfournier.com. Thanks for listening to Awakening Aphrodite. Let's awaken her together in you. I'm your hostess, Amy Fournier, and I already can't wait to be with you again and for you to hear what I have planned for the next show.
Thanks for listening to Awakening Aphrodite with Amy Fournier. To learn more about Amy, check out her website, amyfournier.com. That's amyfournier.com. You can also check out Amy's live and on-demand virtual fitness and yoga classes, and sign up for her newsletter to receive a free mini ebook of 3 of her top tips for making holistic health a lifestyle. Again, that's amyfournier.com, and get your ebook sent to your email immediately. Connect with Amy on the daily on Instagram at FitAmyTV, FITAMYTV, and watch many of the podcast episodes and subtopic clips on her YouTube channel, which is also FitAmyTV. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time on Awakening Aphrodite.